Thank you both. We do have some questions which have come in, so I will fire away if you're happy. First one, why do you only intend to ballot SAS doctors in England? What's happening in the devolved nations, and is their pay better?
So SAS QK is guided by the motion that was passed at conference. The motion that was passed at conference was for SAS doctors in England. That's the first thing. The other two branches of practice, which are consultants and JDC, have also, I think, balloted only in England. So SASC as such is kind of taking action on a motion that was passed at conference. The devolved nations have their own SAS committees. I do know that Wales has gone into negotiation with NHS Wales. I forget the name of the negotiating authority, but for better pay. Scotland has just been issued with a new contract, and they are in the process of embedding it. I believe that they're at the stage where expression of interest is happening, although that may have stopped. I'm not sure of dates, but that's why we're balloting in England only.
Thank you. Next question. Will SAS doctors be covering consultants during their strike? They were asked to help out during the junior doctor strike, and they were paid the rate card.
Good question, and naturally one that has surfaced in the last 2 days. I've had personal emails as well. We do intend to set out guidance for SAS doctors. We're working on the guidance. The issue is that we want to understand if people are being asked to work unsupervised, they should be appropriately remunerated and recognized for doing the same. If that means the creation of more specialist roles, we would like that to happen, but at the same time, we wouldn't like to do anything that would undermine the consultant industrial action. Would you agree with that, Ujjwala?
Yes, certainly. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any advice to help wake up a region who appear to be sleeping? Despite asking them repeatedly, there's been not much communication in many months. So how can we get them reactivated?
Shall I answer this? Amazing question, literally, and so honest. The biggest problem has been the apathy. And sometimes you ask, why is there apathy? There's apathy for various reasons. But one of them is that we have been ignored as a grade for so many years that people just don't want to engage. The phenomena of gradism again, of being treated differently because you're a grade. How can we rejuvenate it? I think pay will attract most. I think the issue that their colleagues are now in other branches of practice are now talking about industrial action will bring people to listen and invigorate some interest, which I think we should capitalize on. From Ujjwala and my part, I can say that if you invite us to a regional meeting, virtually, I'm presuming, because physically it's impossible to get around, and the virtual world has opened up so much due to Teams. We will come, and we will talk to as many people, because as you can see by the consultant ballot and the junior doctors ballot, the numbers are so vitally important. If you call a ballot for industrial action and you don't get that 50% figure, then you have to have a huge second strategy. We're trying to explore avenues before getting to that ballot stage, but that would involve reinvigorating every region which is dormant. And if we can help in any way, please ask.
Thank you. There are a few questions about the rate card. Some are quite specific, so we might ask for those specific questions to come to the InfoSask inbox, if that's okay, and we can direct them and advise you via there. One of them is asking, the LNC had agreed the rate for consultants and SAS with the autonomous practitioners, and the trust was giving the rate to the consultants, but not the SAS doctors. Do you have any advice of how this could be changed?
Please escalate. Please get in touch through your IRO. The LNC will have a specific IRO, and we'd love to listen to this, and we can of course do something about it. But it's inappropriate if the autonomous work is being performed and the rate card has been accepted in the trust. It is inappropriate that the correct rate is not being paid.
Thank you. We've had a couple of questions about when the ballot will happen, and if there are any plans to coordinate action with consultants.
Two different questions and two very good questions. When will the ballot happen? So SASC meets on 26th of July. We will put up a ask. Ujjwala has written to the Secretary of State. We've actually received a reply today with requesting to meet with dates. So we will meet them. We'll put our asks to them, and the asks will be what SASC will say, including the pay restoration strategy. We will have to undertake an indicative ballot, but before that, we'll have to clean our data to ensure that we've got the right numbers, the right people, the right addresses, which is where your role is vital, because we need to ensure we've got the correct addresses. Even in the consultant ballot, we had loads of people saying that they didn't receive the ballot because it went to the wrong address, etc., etc. So we can't afford that to happen because the numbers are smaller than the consultant numbers and the JDC numbers. So the first step is to really clean our data, get our WhatsApp groups going, get invigorate regions which aren't invigorated, as was rightly asked previously, and then undertake in the autumn an indicative ballot if necessary, if our asks are not fulfilled. Now, remember, next year is election year, and we reckon that election will also be autumn next year, possibly. So we've got to undertake our proper ballot much before that. And if we are calling for industrial action, call it much before that, of course. Whether we can coordinate with the consultants, I don't know. Do you want to take that, Ujjwala?
Yes, it's still a long way to go. We need our data cleans everything, and from time to time, when we meet at our tri committee weekly, we could coordinate with them and see how things go.
It is certainly something we can suggest, but before that, we've got to ensure that we've got our asks correctly sorted.
Thank you. A question asking, how can dental SAS grades get involved?
They already are. So we have representation on CCHDS, which is the Committee for Hospital Dental Services. and we are in touch with them as well. It is a good question, though, about if we do run a ballot, how will we undertake this? And that is one I will take away. I don't know. Evita is on the call. Evita, do you have anything further to add on how did the consultants do it with CCHDS? No. Okay, but it's something to take away. Certainly will, because you are SAS doctors and MaxFax are a huge part of the workforce. So we'll take that away.
Thank you. There's a comment saying that lots of SAS doctors are actually more concerned about recognition and inclusion as opposed to pay. So will this be included within the campaign?
So this is what I was just saying before. We have to determine what our asks are going to be. So if we get our recognition and we get our inclusion, but we don't get the pay, that's not acceptable, because the other branches of practice will then get the pay, and then we'll be lagging behind hugely. So we whatever we ask for has to have an outcome attached to it, as in what will be something that we will be satisfied with. So for example, when we went for the contract negs, we were clear in our head that in every survey we were asked to bring back the associate specialist grade. We couldn't get the associate specialist. I think we got a better title. We got the specialist, but it was a clear ask. We negotiated we shortened the duration of the specialty doctor as well to get to the top of the scale. The point where we didn't succeed, and I accept we didn't succeed, is to get that single spine. And I think that the contract evolves over a period of time, and I'm sure with the current workforce nature, it will evolve. So the answer to your question is we have to get our asks right and be outcome based, but we cannot sacrifice one for the other. So we will not stand to say that, okay, we won't take a pay rise if you sort something else out for us. We've lost 3.5 months of, well, we're working 3.5 months for free by the way it looks, if you consider a 31% loss in pay over the years.
Thank you. Following on quite nicely, are there any plans for the new contract to be reviewed?
So we continuously, Ujjwala said this clearly, we continuously review everything. We meet JNC SAS and we talk about each step. So for example, the slide I showed you about the specialty doctors, highest rung on the 2008 being above the 2021 specialist. We've spoken to them. We put out an FAQ. We disagreed with their FAQ because they wanted a pay premium attached to it, and we wanted the fact that the person should just be appointed on the next step of the salary scale. So we put out our own FAQ then. We talk about how we would calculate out of hours pay, because we've got a new contractual safeguard of 40% of the time, whether that would be in hours or in PAs. So the contract evolves, and we talk about contractual issues, and as and when problems are raised with us, we try and solve them when we meet every 3 months. So if you do come across problems that you think are solvable nationally, please do escalate, and the SAS committee and the BMA will take it forward.
Thank you. Do you have any early thoughts on your negotiation strategy with the government, i.e. kind of what we're willing to settle for, etc.?
That's what we discuss at SASC on 26th of July. We have a clear list of asks which we thought we'd start with. That includes the pay restoration strategy and to solve the contractual issues, but there will be more. The important thing is to get them outcome focused, as in what would be the outcome we want from those talks. I don't know if you have any more specifically, Ujjwala, but I can't think of a specific list that we've made as yet, although on the 26th of July we will have one.
Thank you. Would it be possible in any kind of scenario, if SAS do vote for industrial action, for juniors, consultants and SAS doctors to all coordinate action?
The juniors action is different from the consultant action. The consultant action is an emergency only service, a Christmas Day service. The juniors action is a total walkout. SAS hasn't determined what action it would like to take. I think we're still a long way from exactly determining what would happen. But to see 3 branches of practice walk out, leaving the NHS, worries me a bit, to be fair. But it is for SAS to decide, and it is for you to decide, because this will come out into the realm of a vote.
Thank you. There have been a few comments about having regular meetings or webinars between LNC reps and SAS UK, and a few comments similar to last week asking for them to ideally be in Teams format so that it's better for engagement. So just to note that, really. There's also a few quite specific questions about transfer data, etc., which we probably won't get into right now. So anything specific, please do contact the info.sask@bma.org.uk email address, and we can answer those questions via there. Just looking up to see if we've missed anything.
So Jody, can I just say that regular webinars is a good idea if you think it is beneficial, and if you think you can spare an hour's time in an evening, perhaps once a couple of months. This is the time we've got to do it. I mean, the consultants did huge number of webinars. The junior doctors WhatsApp groups are on fire, literally. So if you think you want one every month, yeah, well, we'll organize one, and we'll feed you data. So after the 26th of July, we'll definitely organize webinars. And we're willing to come out to. Issue I would say is August is a holiday month, which is why we're at we don't want to try and call for any ballots to take place in August, because if doctors are on holiday, it has to be a postal ballot. It comes through the post, and you have to post it back. That is trade union law. So we could undertake further webinars. I certainly think that's a brilliant idea, and we will endeavor to put some in the diary, because it was asked for last week as well. What was the second point you spoke about, Jody? About?
Oh, I just asked for any kind of specific questions on transfer data with the new contracts to be emailed to us.
Yeah, please do. The issue is the data we get is from ESR, which is the Electronic Services Record. Now we all know how the data is in the NHS, and I've questioned the accuracy of this many times. A lot of data has been shared with us in confidence, including moving across, including the grades. So for example, the maximum number of specialists has been created in anesthetics and A&E. We know that, but they've been created in every branch of practice, and we have that data. We know that of the 769, most of the specialists came from either the 2008 specialty doctor contract, or some even moved to the 2021 specialty doctor contract and moved across to specialist. We know that there are about 100 consultants who I suspect will be locum consultants who move to the specialist contract. We know that there are some trainees who move to the specialist contract, and that's really good that we've got such a good opportunity to give others, because the workforce situation in England particularly will be hugely sorted by this move. What we've got to do is to get the doctors on the top of the specialty doctor grade to somehow assimilate to the specialist, and these are things that are ongoing. So we're happy to share data in all confidentiality, but of course we question the accuracy of it. So sometimes you worry about sharing data which you don't think is absolutely accurate. That's the only worry.
Thank you. We've had a question asking if this the pay campaign includes LEDs, or is it just for SAS colleagues?
Anybody who is on a contract which mirrors the SAS contract, I think the pay campaign applies to them. Anybody who is, there are certain doctors who choose not to go on to SAS doctors and keep being called clinical fellows because of terms that are beneficial to them. As I said in the beginning, it's difficult to represent the grade. Sometimes the challenge is because you're looking at people who are 4 years out of MBBS to people who are 30, 40 years out of MBBS. So it's an obvious challenge. So it will apply to LEDs provided they're on terms and conditions that mirror the SAS contracts. And this is another vital thing, that they need to be registered with us to say that, so that we can ballot them. So we've got this 3-month window where the BMA is putting up free membership. If you could encourage people to join, that would be amazing.
And Amit, as I have already mentioned, they have to register as SAS grade to be able to vote. So it is very important that even if they are LEDs with SAS contract, they have to register as a BMA SAS grade doctor.
And because you are all LNC reps, the code for free membership drive over these 3 months will be out on the 1st of July. And I hope you can access it from the BMA website and propagate it to your local regions. If not, I'm sure your IRO can share the code with you.
Also, we can share it with the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
The code, and that will, I think, give to everyone.
Thank you. Just on that, there have been a few calls to set up an LNC rep WhatsApp group, similar to the ones that the LNC chairs have.
I'd love to, but I don't know who the SAS LNC reps are.
Yeah, that's what we
this is the problem with GDPR is that we can't access. We can start with 10, but how do we cascade information to LNC reps is a question. I think, Jody, the answer is to have webinars and to ask them to join and then propagate information as much as we can.
Yep.
If somebody has a solution.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Locally, Amit, locally, some of the trusts are including SAS doctor who are representative on LNC. So whole SAS, junior doctors, as well as consultants, LNC group, WhatsApp groups are there. In West Midlands, at least, they are running such groups. So we could get it all over.
We could try, yeah. Northwest is trying. But if anybody has any good suggestions, we're happy to listen. We're learning from you as well. We've never done this before.
Thank you. A question asking, would successful IA only raise pay on the 2021 contracts as the 2008 contracts are now closed?
No, the call is to raise pay for all viable contracts. But we have to ensure that the 2021 contracts are not left out as they were left out by the DDRB. So the call is to raise pay for all SAS doctors. There are less than 200 staff grades left now, I believe. And this would be to raise their pay as well, to be honest.
Thank you. Just a question asking, can you clarify the free membership window again for us?
From
3
1st of
months.
July, yeah,
Go on.
from 1st of July, this Saturday, till 31st of August.
And it's 3 months free
Yes.
if you join.
Thank you. I think we are at the end of our questions now.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you to everybody for attending. Thank you to Chris, who, as usual, organized this webinar with absolutely no effort. Thank you to yourself, Jody, and to Evita in the background, who has been collating the questions. And Evita has been a huge support in our march forward. And of course, thank you to all of you for attending. We look forward to organizing another one after the 26th of July. We certainly will. And we need your engagement and your ideas. And please keep giving us suggestions as to how to take this forward, because we won't win this without your support. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.